Breaking news, Activision has recently disclosed the cost to develop several of the last titles along with the resulting sales of those Call of Duty titles. And something that you'll notice in these numbers that they dropped are the increasing cost to produce these games along with the declining sales of said games. But does that necessarily mean that the game is not successful anymore? No, actually now it's more successful than ever. And I'm going to explain exactly why on a video that begins right now.
I know I've been quiet for a minute, I've been grinding, still in it, I've been counting these digits, excuse me. I know I've been quiet for a minute, but
What's up, what's good, YouTube? Hope all is well, and welcome back to the channel. The beautiful voice you're hearing right now is none other than mine. It's Appa, quite possibly the sexiest sounding YouTuber in the Call of Duty sphere. If you don't believe me, ask your mom. But seriously, guys, Activision recently disclosed the cost that they spent to develop some of these Call of Duty titles, and, also we have the data as far as how many of these titles that they actually sold, leaving us with the per profit per game sold, which, if we do the math, they released Black Ops 3, which had a development cost of $450 million, and then went on to sell 43 million copies. Being that they sold 43 million copies, if we do the math, that leaves us with the cost of about $10.50 per game. Production cost wise, meaning that per copy sold, they made a cool profit of $49.50, estimated, of course, leaving them with a cool $2 billion, roughly $2,128 million and some change, just from the purchases of the game. What about MW 2019, which cost them a grand total of $640 million to produce and only sold 41 million copies, leaving production costs right around $15.60. We take the standard price of the game as $60 and subtract the $15.60 worth of production costs per title over 41 million copies sold, raking in a cool $1.8 billion worth of profit after we deduct the cost of production. What about Black Ops Cold War, which, if you ask many people that have played Call of Duty over the last several years, was probably the laziest produced game that they've ever released. Now, granted, it was developed during COVID era restrictions, and I get that a lot of development probably happened over a Zoom call with everybody working remote, but regardless of that fact, Black Ops Cold War cost an astounding $700 million to produce and only sold 30 million copies. Doing the math, with a $60 video game and a $23 plus production cost per title, they only pulled in $1 billion and some change from the sales of Black Ops Cold War. So maybe you're starting to see the trend. A rise in production cost, a reduction in actual copies sold. So you got to be thinking to yourself, well, they're losing money. Maybe not. Maybe their business plan isn't to make the vast majority of their profits through the sale of the game. In fact, I would venture to guess that the profits they're making from warzone microtransactions alone greatly outweighs the amount of money they're making from selling you a copy of the multiplayer. I mean, let's do that math. What's the average player spend throughout a 12-month Call of Duty life cycle, excluding the cost of the multiplayer game, strictly in microtransactions? Well, let's see. 6 times a year, you're spending at least $15 on a battle pass. That in itself is already $90. And I would guess that digital assets take a lot less production cost than an entire game. So just on the battle pass alone, they're making more money than they would be selling the game. Now, we don't have the data to prove this, but if you're not a complete moron, and you just think about it logically, that's probably the reason the production cost is going up. Even though the amount of copies they're selling is going down, they're still making record profits through microtransaction, which seem to be the focal point of their money-making strategy within Call of Duty. Now add on the fact that every once in a while, they come out with a bundle or something that's geared towards you as the demographic of players. No matter what kind of player you are, whether you're into comic books, whether you're into the Squid Games, whether you're into anime unicorn porn, they've got you covered at one point or another, and you're probably going to spend more money, vastly outweighing the amount of money they're making from you from paying for multiplayer. And another thing, a lot of people say that Warzone would have less cheaters if they just charged for the game. Well, I don't see them doing that, considering that in the current state of things, they're making more money just based off the microtransactions, sales of battle passes and things of that nature than they are at sale of the game. Why would they paywall their most profitable options within the game? They're not going to. And furthermore, people are wondering why the game keeps selling less copies and the player count keeps dropping, why they're not changing anything. Well, this is proof right here that they're not. Why would they change anything? They're making a buttload of money with this business model. Let's take a product, for example. It's not a digital asset. Explain how this business model makes sense in practicality. Let's say I'm selling a vacuum cleaner. Say this vacuum cleaner is a $100 vacuum cleaner. First off, if you buy a $100 vacuum cleaner, fucking ain't picking up shit. You might as well just sweep your fucking carpet. Second off, if I'm charging you $100 for a vacuum cleaner, chances are I'm not going to be making as much profit because the cost of production of that vacuum cleaner is, say, some of the other brands like Dyson or whatnot, they're $500, $600, $700 vacuum cleaners. But where I will make my money is through selling you guys proprietary bags and belts and other accessories that go along with this product that you can't just buy a universal fit for. While a Dyson bag, a pack of 5 may cost you $20, a pack of 3 of my vacuum bags probably will cost you $32. Whereas you're saving money with the initial costs, you're actually spending more in the long run. Now, side note, I don't know if anybody knows this, I have an extensive history in the vacuum cleaner markets. Most vacuum cleaners aren't designed to last more than 3 years. The reason being is because when you suck dirt in through the machine, it travels through the engine compartment. Essentially what you're doing is sandblasting your motor. That's why when right before they die, you smell like burning pet hair if you have a pet in the house, or dirt, or you think it's just a belt burn up. No, that's actually the engine burning up. It's designed like that for a reason. So you have to turn around and buy another one. Kind of like Call of Duty, actually. How many of you tried to go play some of the old games you paid for? Then you realize how hacked up Call of Duty as a franchise is, not just the current title. And not only that, they don't even support any of the old games, so if there's a problem with it, it's staying. But we're getting off on a side tangent here. The point of this video right here is just to explain to you guys why we are not getting any changes, why I don't have any faith that the anti-cheat update's going to do much for the long term of keeping cheaters out of our game, championing competitive integrity. It's why we still are on the same bullshit 20 tick rate servers. That's why if I get into a game with less than 5% packet loss, well, we'll just play it out, because chances are it's going to take me another 45 minutes to find a lobby without any packet loss. And then on top of that, if they give me a lobby without packet loss, I can guarantee you that it's full of nothing but sweats like myself. The reason we can't get rid of the shadow ban system, for God's sakes, because financially, they are not motivated to do anything, to change a damn thing about this game until we talk to them in the language that they understand. You ever heard hit them where it counts? In their bank account, in their wallet? Unfortunately, I'm starting to believe that the Call of Duty community is too stupid to understand that premise. We get on Twitter and YouTube and all these other platforms and just bitch and say vile things about this game, and then we turn around and go, oh my God, Squid Games, I love that show. By the way, I had no clue what Squid Games was before this. I just heard the term before. And you could have just simply told me, it's Korean Hunger Games. I would have totally understood and saved myself like 5 hours. But nobody understands. It's like, if we continue to spend money with the company, what motivation does that company have to change anything to meet our demands? That's like having a hostage negotiation situation where the negotiator's like, what are your demands? And you're like, I want $1 million and a helicopter out of here. And they're like, all right, we got that. Now, can we get some, can we get you to release some of the, where are you going? What, he just flew away with the hostages, the money. What are we doing? We have no leverage if we keep spending money with this company. And for those in the comments that are going to be like, hey, Hop, I'm pretty sure I noticed that you got the Black Cell Battle Pass. Listen to me. I am only advocating for you to spend less money when you don't need to spend money. And the reason we buy the Black Cell Battle Pass is simply because it's proven that there is a completely different algorithm for people that own the multiplayer and then also the Battle Pass. That's a fact. That is considered when you go into matchmaking. Whether that's an anti-cheat measure or not, you are going to get the short end of the stick if you do not own the Battle Pass. I don't agree with that, but it's just the way things are. But I'm going to tell you what doesn't affect your matchmaking. Well, it actually does. I was going to say microtransactions, but there's a way around that. You can use a VPN or something like that to obfuscate any kind of skill rating or skill-based matchmaking or EOMM or whatever, catchphrase you want to throw in. And yes, I get it. Like, a lot of us believe that, certain things are linked to purchases in the game, whether it come with connection or hit registration or damage output or, whatever. We need to quit letting them bend us over a barrel like this and actually put our foot down and show some fucking backbone and some restraint and quit spending fucking money on this game. I mean, we could break this down into the dichotomy between like a parent and a teenager. Like, if a parent's giving you an allowance and then it's like, hey, I need you to clean your room. I need you to clean your room. I need you to clean your room. And they're not going to clean their room and you don't take that allowance from them. They're not going to clean their fucking room ever. And that's basically what we're doing with the company. We're like, hey, we need you to clean your room. We need you to get rid of cheaters. We need you to work out the server issues. We need to work out some of the bugs in the game. But hey, here's your allowance. They're just going to laugh at us. Turn around, shut their bedroom door, and laugh amongst the filth. They don't care. They've got their allowance. And you, the parent, you're stuck with ever decreasing value because one of the rooms in your house is, filthy. But if you ask me, the only person to blame in this situation, it's the parent that's not holding their feet to the fire and withholding that allowance until they get their demands met. Same with us here in the Call of Duty community. You can't be running around in a Squid Games uniform or whatever and be like, hey guys, yeah, definitely, I'm all with you. I want this game to change. I mean, literally, the opposite end of the spectrum is people in my comments telling me like, if you hate it so bad, why don't you quit? That doesn't make any change at all. You ever heard closed mouths don't get fed? Very true in this situation. You guys want changes to come to this game? It's a real simple method that I'm going to lay out for you guys. There's nothing wrong with playing the game, especially if you enjoy it, and I do, regardless of all the issues in the game. It tilts me, but at the end of the day, every time I play something else, I'm left with a little bit of gap in my in my entertainment value. Like I gotta have my Call of Duty. Some people call it an addiction. Maybe it is. But what's not an addiction, spending money on this game. And hey, listen, if you don't share the same sentiments as a lot of us do with the game being in the piss poor state that it's in, go ahead, spend money. Nobody's gonna fault you. But if you're one of the people that complain, have quit the game because of all these issues, but you were still spending money on the game, well, you don't have a right to say anything, critique the game, complain about it. You should just, shut up and deal with it. It's a really simple premise. Just don't spend any money on unnecessary bullshit. Personally, I think this all, defaults back to a societal issue that we're having with a lot of people, not having proper upbringings and subsequently living outside of their means. But I feel like maybe this problem here, simplified down, would be a lot easier for people to, get behind just not spending money in the game than it is to, change society as a whole. So, I just wanted to get that out there. That's how they're making the money that they're making and continuing to deliver us a substandard product. Yes, they're selling less copies and less people are playing it, but the ones that are playing it are spending quite a bit of money. We've all got that one friend that spends $100, $200, $300. Hell, I had a friend back in MW 2019 that would spend probably $300-$400. It was 25% of his monthly income was going to the COD store. He collected digital assets and skins and shit like they were Pokemon cards. Funny story about that guy. He lost his job, but somehow still had an addiction to the COD store, and then he found unlock tools, and then he got hardware ID banned, and now he doesn't even play the game anymore. So also, he's not one of my friends anymore. So whatever your guys' problem is, whether it be people that are, finding ways around matchmaking, whether it be the matchmaking, whether it be the server performance, some stupid bug or glitch that continually ruins your experience, being shadow banned because you're better than everybody, whatever your issues are, none of this shit is going to change until you guys grow the fuck up and stop giving this company money. You are rewarding bad behavior. Essentially, if Call of Duty is a child and we are the parents, we are bad parents. We need to get those little fuckers to clean their room. The only way we're going to do it is by withholding their allowance. If you guys feel the same way, do me a huge favor. Like the video. It really helps promote it in the algorithm. Want to see more content just like this or to be notified when I go live right here on YouTube? Do yourself a big favor. Subscribe to the channel. Make sure you turn on the notifications. YouTube will never let you miss any more content. And adversely, if you think I'm full of shit, let me know down in the comments. Trust me, I love arguing in my comments. It's like 50% of the reason I started a YouTube channel. And to be honest with you guys, this all kind of reminds me the wise words of Leo Tolstoy, who once said, "The two most powerful warriors are patience and time." I'll catch you guys on the next one. Mahalo.
Hold up, little buddy, what is you doing? Finna go hard, hard, hard. Ice on my neck, ice on my wrist. That for the squad. Know they gon' hate, do what I tell them. Get on your jaw. Work on smooth, I got the moves. I swear to God. Hey, I just dropped 200.